Okay, so hey, I just finished this book, Elfshadow by Elaine Cunningham, and I wanted to talk about it. I don't know how the heck a paperback manages to get so beat up. How many times you got to read a book before it starts looking this messed up? I buy in bulk. I buy these books in bulk because I don't want to pay $5 a piece for them. But I'd like to have them. I've got another copy of it, and it's in just pretty condition. And the reason why I started reading it in the first place is because I had a bunch of duplicates and I was selling them off. I just didn't have the heart to include this one because it's just tore up. It was the only duplicate I had left at that particular time. I decided to pick it up and start reading it. This is an old library book from someplace outside of Toledo. Toledo Lucas County Public Library. Last time it was checked out was in 2000, April 13th, 2000. I started reading it, and I found myself really actually kind of interested in the story. Elfshadow by Elaine Cunningham. This is her first book. My wife, she walked past, "How you liking that book?" And I'm like, "It's surprisingly really good." So this is the second book in the Harper's series. They had 16 books out. They don't have to be read in order. You can pick up wherever you want. Now, the premise of the story is that a bunch of Harpers are being assassinated, along with a bunch of Zentarum. So it's kind of a one-for-one thing. For every Harper that is assassinated, a Zentarum is also assassinated. Essentially, it's a mystery. You know, in any good mystery, you're introduced to all the characters that could possibly be the murderer. A bad mystery is when they reveal who the real murderer is, and he hasn't been introduced in the story up to that point. That's a bad mystery. I think this book kind of breaks that rule. Not to give away any spoilers, and I'm certainly not going to tell you who done it, but it was one of those scenarios that came bloody close to becoming a bad mystery, at least in my opinion anyway. But when the reveal did finally happen, I went, okay, all right. Was it bad enough that I thought I wasn't going to read anymore? No, I finished the book. I thought it was a very good book. How many times I was reading through this book and I went, oh man, it's getting real now. Was really well written. Anyway, Erilyn Moonblade. She works for the Harpers, but she's not a Harper. They commission her to do a bunch of dirty work that they wouldn't want to do themselves. She is not pleasant at all. I don't know why Elaine Cunningham wrote her this way, but she's just a standoffish pill. She isn't. I mean, who wants to be around her? As it comes to pass, she ends up being thought to be the assassin that's killing all these other Harpers. But the truth of the matter is that this Harper assassin is trailing her. This fella right here he's a dandy. He's a little prince. But I think that he's supposed to be like some kind of cover. So everybody just thinks he's a dandy. He's got lots of money. And Danilo here is the nephew to Kelvin Blackstaff. Kelvin Blackstaff says to him, I want you to go and get to know this gal and find out everything you can about this fancy sword that she's got. He ends up hooking up with her. You know, they become a traveling party together. She's meaner than hell to him the whole time. She's condescending and constantly talking down to him. And you wonder, or I wondered, why the heck does he keep pursuing, this relationship with her? If he hadn't have been asked by his uncle to do so, I don't think he would have done it. Because she's just mean. She's mean as a snake, man. The back of the book, Erilyn Moonblade is one of the two best assassins in the realms. Maybe both. From Cormyr to Waterdeep, Harpers are being murdered. The trail leads to the half-elven adventurer Erilyn Moonblade. Is she guilty, or is she the next target? Tormented by strange dreams and stalked by shadows, Erilyn must uncover the ancient secret of her sword's power in order to find and face the Harper assassin. Elfshadow is the second in an open-ended series of novels focusing on the Harpers, the secret organization for good in the Forgotten Realms fantasy world. Now, there's 4 more. She wrote 5 with these characters, this cast of characters ongoing. Elfsong's the 8th in the Harper series. Apparently, Danilo, which is the fellow on the front of the cover here, he's got this beef with this Eliath Chronoborn or something weird like that. Anyway, this guy and he have words with each other that's just funny as hell, because they're both sharp. They're both real smart. In this book, they have to team up for some reason. There's some kind of bardic college that's spell has been cast over them, and so now they're rewriting all of the old songs the bardic histories are being rewritten, and nobody knows that this is really the case except for Danilo here. He's got to team up with his arch nemesis. That basically they just hate each other, and they insult each other really well too, as a matter of fact. And then after that, I have no idea what the hell this is about, but it brings back those characters. Errol Moonblade's back. This is the 13th book of the Harpers. I'm sure Danilo's probably in there someplace. Yep, there's his name. Danilo's in that one. And then Thornhold. This is book 16 in the Harpers series. Kelvin Blackstaff's back in it. Well, it doesn't say that Erlen's in here. She might be. And then Dream Spheres. So all of these books are connected, and this actually isn't a Harper's book. All of these books are part of the same story. The ongoing story, they've got the same cast of characters keeps showing up. I have a mess of these books, and I have read very few of them. I've read the Drizzt books, up to the 8th book, I believe. I've read some of the Ravenloft novels. I've got a mess of them back there. I don't even know if you can see them. I would highly recommend this. It's a good read, and especially for someone's first book ever. I enjoyed the heck out of it. I swear, I kept picking it up going, and every time I would, it would end on a cliffhanger. I'd be like, it's getting real now, man.